Hey everybody, welcome back to the second episode of the CI Rewind. Wow, again, this is such a huge thing to unpack, and I'm so glad that we have some amazing guests joining us. Today we have Ben from Lenovo joining us. Welcome, Ben.
Hey Mark, thanks very much for having me. I'm very excited.
Well, you are more than welcome to join us at any point in time. Ben works from Lenovo, works with Lenovo rather, and has worked with the Motley Crew as well as the apprenticeship program, which we'll get into in a little bit. But today we want to talk about the future pathways for high school students in esports. Now, Ben, how was esports or the idea of gaming at school for you? What was that like when you were at high school?
Look, when I was at high school, it was mostly traditional sport. I was a rugby school, so I did get pressured into that by the time I got to year 10. But there was still scope to sort of work around that as well. We were definitely doing some Warcraft 2 lands in the computer room on
Oh,
the old
remember those. I
iMacs.
remember those. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. And we'd also try and knock out some Magic the Gathering and the like in the playground to keep herself entertained when it wasn't rugby training.
And for everybody at home listening to or watching this video, Ben and I had a pre-stream conversation about Magic the Gathering, and I'm lost. There's so much you can do on this platform, and it's such a big industry. It's so great that these games at school, these cards, these rolling of marbles, 30 years ago have turned into something that's so big and so great for these kids.
Yeah, and it's been completely updated to the digital world, so it's free to play to jump in. I definitely still play a whole lot of Magic the Gathering Arena online, both with those same school friends, but also with people all over the world, which is just fantastic.
And it sounds like to me that you're a bit of a gamer there, Ben.
Look, a little bit. I have been playing games for a very long time, and even on this Legion device that I'm talking to you from right now, I'll drop
Fantastic.
into a bit of COD Warzone after work, or
Okay.
play a bit of BattleTech or something along those lines as well. It's pretty great.
Looking forward to Cold War coming out soon.
I am. I haven't played a single player COD for a while, and that one looks like it's really going to grab me. So I'm pretty keen.
I think I have my pre-order ready to go. But look, let's get back to the topic. So, future pathways for students in esports. We have an infographic. The stream team have it ready to go. There it is. Fantastic. This here was a graphic that I pulled down. Somebody else had put it up, and I thought this was fantastic. Look at how far this spans out. I mean, we have esports related professions going from broadcast even over to legal. Ben, I mean, obviously in your line of work and full disclosure, everybody, Ben has been working in ANZ and he's been a part of some big productions that have occurred in Australia in the last couple of years. Ben, I mean, is there things there that you recognize, that you see on a daily basis or monthly basis?
Absolutely. I mean, the exciting thing about this particular graphic is that it's something that I get questioned about fairly regularly, and I have spoken about esports careers at PAX and IEM in the last couple of years, because the front facing and the sort of what you see when you're watching esports is just the players and the casters. It's really hard to sort of get a feel for what else exists within esports. But it's just like any production and any giant business. You've got every single piece behind that. You've got sound techs and directors of photography and production managers and camera operators. Then you've got your finance team and your sales team and marketing and everything else that revolves around it. So interestingly, and looking at that graphic that you had before, there's not that much difference between esports careers and any other careers. They just happen to be in an esports realm. So that's one of the exciting things, is you don't need to be the best Valorant player or
Mm-mm.
an
No way.
absolute star at League of Legends to jump into an esports career. You can
Mm.
just take whatever you're good at or whatever you've got a passion in and just search for those jobs in an esports fashion. I could actually show you an example of that. When I used to work for Gfinity Esports Australia, we had the biggest esports arena in Australia was down in Sydney at Hoyts, and
We
I think
might
there's
just
a
put that
graphic there.
graphic up there for
Yeah,
you.
that just gives you an idea of well, not the Apprentice one, but
Yeah,
the graphic of the
we'll come back
arena.
to
But
that.
just we'll circle back to apprenticeship. Um, that we had so many people working on something that just had 6 players and 2 hosts and 2 casters. But if you can see from the picture, hopefully we get it up shortly.
Yeah, we're just going to bring it up. It will come up now in our next scene. So, sorry, Ben, keep going.
Getting that, yeah, you can just see that there's such a volume of people involved. There's easily sort of 60, 70, 80 people involved in a broadcast.
There
There
we
it is.
go. There it is.
Involved in a broadcast that when you're watching it on Twitch or on free-to-air TV, it's only 6 to 10 people actually on the screen, but the volume of people involved to make that happen is huge. So that's 60, 70 jobs to make one esports broadcast.
Isn't that amazing? It's kind of like a film set, isn't it? You would have your actors on stage with your assistant directors and your directors, your directors of photography, your grips, blah 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 blah, assisting on that stage, and yet all of them, they're all viable careers, much like we were speaking about what you were saying with Gfinity there. This is fantastic, and I mean, I would love to have that stage for the Chisholm Invitational, but that's something we can all work towards as a nation and as teachers and also those who are interested in investing in high school esports. This is achievable. And this is something that doesn't just inspire that educational body, but this actually inspires en masse a large amount of people that can be involved in many different areas. And I just was looking at that last night when we were talking about tangible pathways, and we spoke a couple of days ago before all this, before we got you onto the show, and I was looking at the very first scholarship for Australia, and that was with the Queensland University of Technology, so that's QUT. Try and make this very quick. I'm very mindful of the time here. And QUT had offered this in 2018 was the first year that they had introduced it. Now, that's still going. That does close this year, so 2020 is still closing, will close on November the 20th. So that's still out there for these kids to be able to get a scholarship to go to university. Now, they have 10 awardees. So 10 lucky students, 10 lucky high school graduates will be able to go to university. A tangible outcome. Here we go. Then I thought, well, cool, let's have a look outside of this. Let's have a look at a global, we'll get a global snapshot of what's happening here. And I counted, Ben, I kid you not, 66 scholarships for colleges in the United States. Wow. What do you think about that?
Yeah, look, it's just really exciting to see that organisations like colleges are taking that next step and taking it a bit seriously to really structure out those tournaments and organisations to make it into a profitable scenario. I mean, I know the US are very good at that, like the NCAA and things like that, where they're making squillions out of collegiate leagues of sport. So they know exactly what they're doing in that space. But at the same time, similar to what you were talking with Hassan last week, the development of high school and then collegiate esports structures the whole piece so that as each building block gets sort of put on top of each other, the quality of the players come through and more people are exposed to it, then more brands want to spend money and invest in it. And all of a sudden there's more money in the whole ecosystem. So it becomes a viable career to be a pro in Australia. At this point, there's only so much money going around for prize money to make it as a pro player. But having things like scholarships, and that just means more available pool of good talent from a young age, that just allows so much better quality at the top end, which allows more money to come in, and it spirals, it snowballs, and keeps getting bigger.
Absolutely, and more opportunities too. The more people that get involved, the more competitive it becomes, the better the outcome, the better the industry. And that's something that we here, or something that I've created with the program here is to make sure that when we are bringing these students through high school esports, we want them to come out and be non-toxic players and those sorts of things. Ben, we did have that picture come up just before of the ePrentice logo. Could you tell us a bit more about that? Because I love this program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we took a real hard look at what's been going on, obviously, around COVID and how that's made employment a little bit more not as secure as it has been before. But on the opportunity side, it's had a lot of people who have gaming as a hobby can re-look at their opportunities and what they want to do with their career. And so whether or not they want to jump into something like streaming or esports or game production or things like that, things they could conceivably do from home now that they've got more time available to do so. So we searched for an apprentice and took in about 300 video applications of people who thought they'd be able to
Wow,
get a
that's
real,
a good
amazing.
number. Good number.
And yeah, a lot of people who thought they'd be able to get a good leg up by using the apprenticeship and some Legion gaming laptops to get them there. And we selected SAS Queen Amy Campbell.
Hey,
She is just done a little bit of freelance gaming journalism, a little bit of game development, and a little bit of streaming, and looked at sort of the thought behind her growth as someone who would want to work in the games industry. And we've empowered her by getting her in front of mentors like Steph Hex-Ben Dixon, the guys from UQU Esports, and the game studio down in Sydney, SMG Studios, and getting her mentored from those guys so that she can get a leg up into looking at what the games industry is like, so that people can look at that space for themselves and see what sort of roles exist and how easy it is to sort of jump in.
That's fantastic. And again, we look at those tangible pathways and pushing people forward. It's programs like this that get our kids forward and get them into these great careers. Now, you did mention a university. Then in the university leagues, there's at the moment we spoke about QUT Tigers offering that scholarship program in their sporting excellence program I have here. So excellence scholarship programs. They also have entries into the OCS. So that's a Riot Games League of Legends Oceanic Challenger Series, whereby these teams in university are actually challenging official OPL, Oceanic Professional League, Div B teams, mind you, but it is an opportunity for them then to join these professional teams. So this framework is there, the structure is there for them to compete and then for them to be there. But Ben, I'm mindful of the time and I think we're going to wrap up now. So the future pathways for students in esports. This is Ben from Lenovo, and Ben has done some fantastic work. Very happy to work with Ben. He's been a great partner with us this year, and we look forward to speaking more in the future. I'm Mark Mendez from Chisholm. Please don't make memes, and I'll see you later.